Kara, empty. Te, the hand. Karate, the empty hand, the weaponless weapon. A fighting system of almost supernatural power, of superhuman capability. Its origins, lost in the abyss of time, are lit by the dim light of legend. 3,000 years before the birth of Christ, in the land of the western heaven, India, a great and powerful prince makes the first crude beginnings. He wanders through the forest and jungles of his native land, observing the ways of the animals, the still, breathless stalk of the tiger and his sudden flashing spring. The lithe and deadly quickness of the serpent flickering in the deep grass. The determined, almost thoughtful moves of the vicious mantis, the most deadly of insects. The sudden flash of the hawk and his final murderous grip on the pheasant's throat. He watches them all and learns from them. Later, in the confines of his luxurious palace, he performs a cruel and bizarre experiment. Desiring to discover the weak points of the human body, he inserts long needles into the bodies of living men, slaves, until a puncture results in death. Then he records the exact spot of the fatal wound. It is said that over 100 men died to satisfy the ruthless curiosity of that cruel prince, whose name has been justly forgotten. Centuries later, history, as if to atone for the excesses of legend, produces a truly great and benevolent figure, a monk named Bodhidharma, or to give him his Chinese name, Tai Mo. This great man, blessed with the enlightenment conferred by years of Zen Buddhist practice, travels alone and on foot across the bandit-ridden mountain fastness between India and China, bringing Zen to the people of the Middle Kingdom. In Honan province, he settles at the Shaolin Monastery, where, finding the monks unable to meditate properly because of their poor physical condition, he initiates a series of exercises called the 18 Hands of the Lohan, which not only exercise the body, but prepare the mind for true enlightenment. These exercises, with their twofold purpose, the strengthening of the body and the enlightenment of the mind, are the basis, the soul of that art the Chinese called Chuan Fa, the fist art, or Kung Fu, and the Okinawans and Japanese call karate. From the Shaolin Monastery, the practice of Chuan Fa spread like wildfire. A great Chuan Fa master named Shui Huan studied Tai Mo's original 18-hand positions and extended them to 72. Later, in Shenxi province, he met a master named Li Shuao, and together they expanded the system again to 170 moves, naming them after the dragon, the crane, the snake, and the leopard. For centuries, the art of the fist was extended and perfected. The people of Siam contributed the kicks and the uses of the foot. The Taiwanese perfected the use of the ends of the fingers. The art spread with sailors and traders to Okinawa, where the idea of the clenched fist was born. From Okinawa, the great master Gichin Funakoshi brought karate to Japan, where it has become as popular as the great native Japanese arts, jiu-jitsu and aikido. And from Japan, karate has traveled to America, where even today, the great art that was born 5,000 years ago with the insane curiosity of a cruel prince, and was perfected 15 centuries ago by the benevolence of a great and perfect master, continues its slow and thoughtful evolution.
This man, you say? This man, 2, 3, 2 points. 1-1. Continue.
Combat between man and man, perhaps the second oldest form of exercise in the world. Since the dawn of time, men have been forced to fight to defend their homes, their property, their ideals, and their lives. Those who fought well survived. Those who didn't died. Martial arts is that area of human science that teaches men how to fight well, how to survive in a dangerous and violent world. In the thousands of years during which the martial arts have been evolving, techniques have been developed that are so effective, so deadly, that their unrestrained use in practice fighting, which you are watching now, would certainly result in death or serious injury to one or both of the combatants. But the highly trained martial artist has such control of his power that he can stop deadly techniques an inch short of his target. And thus, practice fighting becomes possible, and a deadly fighting art can be practiced as a sport. It is because of this control that freestyle sparring, once thought to be too dangerous, has now become a part of the training in almost all karate styles and many kung fu styles. But martial art is more than a sport, more than a self-defense system. It's a way of life. It does not create athletes with bulging muscles or finely tuned murderers. It creates men. Men like Ron Van Cleef. You are watching a man unquestionably the most effective empty-hand fighter in the Western Hemisphere. This is the most dangerous man in America. 7th degree Kiyoshi Shihan in the American Goju system of karate. Creator of Aikijitsu, the most revolutionary and effective fighting system in the world today, and founder of the Chinese Goju system. This is Ron Van Cleef, the Black Dragon. The demonstration you are watching is a series of exercises called Apons, in which an attack is answered with a series of counterattacks until the attacker is defeated. It is here that the imagination, the power, and the flow of Kiyoshi Van Cleef's responses are evident, even to the untrained eye. To a martial artist, they are little short of amazing.
I think the understanding that you develop from the martial arts enhances your whole life. It gives you a different sort of perspective, a new framework of reality. It teaches you how to deal with yourself and the environment at one time. My teacher told me, defeat the self first to know. Aikijitsu is a low-energy input art where it does not take power. Karate is speed plus timing plus focus equals power. And Aikijitsu is mind power equals physical. Mind power equals energy. It's more of an internal art, the Aikijitsu. The martial arts is 80% mental and 20% physical. You'll find that once you study for a while, all the physical variables become nothing. Because a front kick is just as easy as a punch. A knife hand is just as easy as a flying back kick. A flying back kick is just as easy as a new punch or a spear hand or anything. It's all exactly the same. Once you become aware of your potentiality and your ability and capabilities within your framework of reality, of course, you develop fully. Your full range of human potential is elongated. Just the execution of basic technique develops stability, confidence, awareness, endurance. It has so many benefits, and the benefits are mental.
The exercise called kata is common to many of the martial arts. It's a set of prearranged moves, a sort of fighting dance that the martial artist uses to keep himself in shape and to create the correct mental attitude for combat.
Black Dragon Kata is most functionable. It deals with the basic blocking system, basic kicking and punching mechanisms, basic stances, even some advanced technique, so that the student understands that by the time you reach black belt, which is the level that the Black Dragon Kata is taught, you understand the basic structural designs of technique. Cutting the carrot. It shows a confidence in the self, in your precision, your accuracy. It shows an awareness that you understand the full capabilities of yourself. The sword and the self is a very spiritual thing. The sword becomes an extension of your hand. You develop both at the same time. Cutting the carrot is a test of one's fortitude. The carrot cut, the potato cut, they're all just as simple as a punch or kick or anything. It all comes out with the same thing. It's just a physical variable. Being able to change energy into force, into soft, into hard, into just fluidity. In breaking techniques, which is called tamashawari, it's a basic speed plus time plus focus equals power axiom, a principle. What it does, it teaches how to use your body like a weapon. It teaches maximum concentration to a small area at focus points.
Kiyoshi Van Cleef is not only a great fighter, he is one of the leading theorists of martial arts in the world today. The revolutionary fighting style, Aikijitsu, is the product of 17 years of exhaustive research into all the martial arts: karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, aikido, pa kwa, arnis de mano, fighting styles from all over the world. When your body is itself a weapon, it can be used with great effect against other more common weapons, such as the knife.
A knife becomes just an extension of the empty hand. It is much more restricting than just having the empty hand. And once you get into a knife, you don't use your other four weapons. But don't get me wrong, a guy that knows how to use a knife properly is a dangerous adversary. And I've used techniques on the street, being attacked with knife and things. I've even been cut, but that's the other person suffered dearly. See, martial arts is a therapy, more so than just a self-defense art, because it builds better human beings, develops the character. That's why I study martial arts, to give myself a more logical and economical way of functioning within this environment.
Kiyoshi Ron Van Cleef, fighter, theorist, philosopher, one of the new breed of great martial artists America is beginning to produce. many styles of karate being taught in the United States today, most come from Japan. But the original home of karate, as distinct from kung fu, is Okinawa. One of the most famous schools of Okinawan karate is Weiji-Ryu. Sensei George Mattson is a 5th degree black belt and a teacher of karate. His style, Weiji-Ryu, is an Okinawan style and the oldest, most classical karate being taught in America. It's a straightforward, practical fighting system based on straight punches and kicks and circular blocks, and places great emphasis on correct mental attitude. The basic Weiji-Ryu kata, Sanchin, here performed by Justin Testa, creates that correct attitude in the minds of both new student and old master, and is the basis of the Weiji-Ryu style.
No, I'm not trying to kill my student. This most unusual set of movements are a very ancient drill designed to instill confidence, develop strength, and probably most importantly, created to still one's mind, enabling a person to be able to fight without any preconceived thoughts. The monks from China who created this unusual set, or as it's called in Okinawa, kata, called it Sanchin. The student has complete control over his movements, being able to withstand strong blows to his body without upsetting him or in any way distracting him. The newest student learns Sanchin, and the most advanced master continues to practice Sanchin.
The second kata of the Weiji-Ryu system, here being performed by Jimmy Maloney, is called Kan-Shiwa and contains actual fighting movements. These motions are studied by the student in the next exercise, in which the student, attacked by 3 others, replies to these attacks with the moves that he has learned and studied in the kata itself. Another unique aspect of Weiji-Ryu is the exercise called Dan Kumite. Dan Kumite is a prearranged fight in which all the attacks and defenses are known to both students. It teaches correct application of attack and defense, correct distance, timing, and mental attitude. It's performed here by Justin Testa and Bob Campbell.
Master Weiji told me years ago that our style was not one that a shallow mind could comprehend, and therefore I should not try to impress anyone with its power. Those that are ready to study a system that is meaningful will search it out. And he said, be ready to teach those students who search for the real karate.
Along with mental attitude, Weiji-Ryu stresses the conditioning of the body to absorb strong blows, so that the equilibrium of the fighter will not be upset if he should be struck by an attacker. The effectiveness of this training is evident in this demonstration, in which 2-inch pine staves are broken over the thigh. Forearm and calf of Bob Campbell, who absorbs these powerful attacks with perfect equanimity and without sustaining any injury whatsoever. Along with training the body to absorb blows, Weiji-Ryu also trains the body to give them. Here, in slow motion, Justin Testa puts his bare toes through 2 pine boards with the Weiji front snap kick. Karate has been better known in America. The father of karate and the original of all the empty-hand martial arts is beginning to be studied in this country more and more. And Kung Fu is taking its rightful place in the hierarchy of martial arts. One of the most famous of the thousands of Kung Fu styles is Wing Chun. The performer is Jerry Gardner, Sifu in Wing Chun Kung Fu. Kung Fu kata, as you can see, are softer and more flowing than karate kata, and their emphasis is not so much on strength as on movement. The moves are more mystical, more secret, not so obviously fighting moves. But be warned, anyone fighting a Kung Fu master will quickly discover that precise and deadly fighting moves are hidden in the dance-like motions of the Kung Fu kata.
I used to really be in the fighting. Sometimes I'd be, you know, you have a lot of anger inside, a lot of emotion inside. You go in the dojo, you want to hit somebody, you want to hit the bag so you get that anger out. And I find now is that I don't want to fight. You know, I don't feel like I want to fight. And if I had to defend myself, that would be something else. Some forms deal with developing the fluidity of emotion. So you can flow, you can feel the flow, you can be in the flow.
The calmness, the quiet, the control of the Kung Fu kata carry over into the world of combat as Jerry Gardner spars with Speedy Lecoq and Tony Basso, moving smoothly and calmly to defend and counterattack with perfect balance and timing. This calmness in the face of danger is the true legacy of serious Kung Fu training.
The motions that I was doing in the karate, they weren't me. You know, I couldn't feel them anymore. So I started to search, and I guess through reading and probably influenced by the media and stuff like that, I went to the Wing Chun. And I found the Wing Chun to be what I was looking for. It was simple, but yet it's not simple, but subtle, but yet it was complicated. It required and developed concentration, focus, relaxation, speed of hand, concentrating of the eye. Very strong stance, strong legs. And I really began to see it. And to me, the martial arts it's a learning process. It's a process of, one, how to deal with life. And when sparring, each time you step in there, it's like saying, this is death. Like you try to say, this is death, and I don't want to get hit. If I get hit, I die. But then, on the other hand, are you afraid to die? Have you really dealt with your consciousness not knowing what happens beyond the point of death? Or can you get in there and say, okay, I can face it, and when it's time, I can let go? Or saying, if I get hit, I get hit. That's the way it goes.
The kata is a Shotokan kata called Impi. The man is Little John Davis, one of the most feared fighters on the East Coast, a practitioner of the murderous Japanese art of jiu-jitsu.
I never criticize one art, say one art is better than the other. All arts work. It will be very deadly because jiu-jitsu is based on the destruction of the bodies, gouging eyes, nose, blood, whatever we get comes off. It's a very deadly art, you know. And some of the techniques, if you notice, the fingers probably breaks across the eyes, which is be gouging out the eyes, peeling the skin of the face, grabbing the groin. And we normally always throw our man on until we try not to get him standing.
His speed is dazzling, legendary. His techniques are thrown with such profusion, most of them are scarcely visible to the naked eye. But as Robert Croson, his student, will tell you, just because you can't see them, don't mean you can't feel them. John Davis, a modest, soft-spoken, and gentle master of a vicious art, jiu-jitsu. Musa Kamara is a master of the youngest of the martial arts, Aikido. Invented in this century by Master Uyeshiba, Aikido is a purely defensive and humanitarian martial art. Its ideal is not only to defend oneself, but to also prevent injury to the attacker. The basic idea of the system is that a person who attacks another must exert a force, and if the defender can deflect that force into another direction, then he can use the aggressor's own strength to defeat him. As you watch Master Kamara, you will see that he uses very little of his own strength, just enough to deflect the momentum of the attacker and turn his own strength back upon him to defeat him. Musa Kamara, the highest-ranking non-Oriental master of the art of Aikido, an art that proves that the aggressor cannot win. Louis Neglia, 5th-degree black belt in Sanukas Jiu-Jitsu, gives a startling demonstration of the internal force, or chi, which to martial artists is the source of all power and the goal of all training.
One of the feats that I've done with this bed of nails is something that I never thought possible. And people, learned men, physicists, and mathematicians said it was impossible to do. And after coming down and seeing it, they said they can't figure it out. And calculating the weight of the sledgehammer and the bed of nails and the sharpness of the nail, they said it was physically impossible to do. But after seeing it, they congratulated me and said that they can't explain it, but they do believe it and it is real.
Center back. Go. Stop. This man. No. Continue. Center it. One more point to move this. Stop. Fix it. Ready? Go. Stop. What did you call? Oh, point, back bit. Lock. Punch. It's 2 points. Winner. Face each other. Out. Chin.
Again. Very good. Okay. One more. Again. Ready? Right. Here. Point. One. Ready? Again. Hey, ready? Ready? Back. Point one. Yes. Ready? Again. Great. Back in. Point. Spinning kick. Point. 2 points. Winner. 2 points. Okay. Go. Great. Back in. Point. 1. 2. Begin. Take him down right away. Good. And this way, you did. Great. Keep. Up, back in center. Yeah. Ready? Begin. Begin. You got great. I'm going to tell you great. Ready? Begin. Yummy. Ready? Bow to each other. Bow to me.
Karate has katas for weapons, such as the sai and the nunchakas, as well as for the empty hand. The kata you are watching is a Shorin-ryu kata called Bo Shodan. Bo is the Japanese term for a fighting stick. Shodan is the first rank of the black belt. The kata is performed by Charles Bonnet, a 6th degree black belt in the Shorin-ryu system.
You can relate the kata to sort of what the boxer would do as far as shadow boxing, more or less. It's equivalent to the same thing. Of course, the kata has a deeper meaning, a more spiritual meaning, because what you're doing in a kata, of course, is you're training yourself spiritually to perform these movements. And each movement has, of course, its own meaning. It was meant for a certain purpose. I would say that the kata is like the dictionary of a martial arts system or style or whatever. But what I've done throughout my 15, 16 years of karate study is that I've studied the kata, and I've derived what I think is the best things to apply. The kata is good to develop the fluidity that you need, the power of concentration. It's good for building up, the body as far as muscles are concerned. A lot of martial artists don't like to lift weights because it tends to tighten the muscle, and it doesn't really do anything for you as far as flexibility is concerned.
Sensei Benet